What he didn't tell you was I also was on Frank's staff at Jesuit. I sat right next to his office, the desk right next to his office, and I was young. You know, I was 27, 28 years old. And when he barked, I came. But it was a great experience. What a great man to work for. Coach Monica is taught me so much in my career, having had the opportunity to work with him, and then obviously talking with him throughout my career and things just football-wise and life-wise. He's been a great mentor. I had the opportunity to coach both of his both of his sons also at St. Charles Catholic. Ty, who now works with him and coaches softball at St. Charles Catholic, and Nick, who is the secondary coach and head baseball coach at Rummel. And it was a real pleasure to work with those two guys and coach them too. It's great to be back at the quarterback club. Was here earlier in the year with some of the other coaches for the Hannon Week. It was great to be there and participate in that. And it was a great event, and it's also great to come back today. Everybody's been asking me, so I'll kind of run this through everybody, let everybody know. It looks like, hopefully, the Catholic League will be back together. That's one of the things people have been asking me about and wanting to know about, and what's going to be the district's going to be like next year, especially here in the city. Last year there was a proposal that was passed by the LHSAA that allowed teams to play up one classification in all sports. It passed by a narrow margin, and it looks like that Holy Cross, Archbishop Shaw, and St. Augustine have taken that choice to play up one classification, where they were 4A numbers that were turned in this year with reclassification. So it looks like that coming back into the league, hopefully, will be Shaw, St. Augustine, and Holy Cross, in with Brother Martin Jesuit and Rummel, putting together a 16 district. That's the first proposal that's been put out there by the LHSAA. There'll be 3 more proposals that will go through within the next month and a half before the final proposal will be voted on. So just looking at the numbers and the way things are arranged in the New Orleans area for 5A football, I think it's a pretty good chance that it's going to happen and it'll get ratified that way, unless something that we don't know about comes down the line and changes that. But it looks good for that. And I know that a lot of people are interested in that because of the rivalries, the traditional rivalries, and things that have taken place, obviously, over the years in the city involving the Catholic League. And I think it's good for football in the state, but it's definitely great for football in the city of New Orleans prep-wise. So there's a little bit of that question that's kind of answered. This year's Jesuit Blue Jays were 8-2, heading to Airline, a nice little 6-hour drive to Shreveport at the end of this week. We were fortunate to get past West Jeff this past week in the first round, who beat us the week before in week 10. We struggled that day, and when we found out that we had the opportunity to meet them in the first round, our kids were excited. It was a little bit rougher week of practice last week for them. I think they got my message. Played real well this past Saturday afternoon. That takes us, into the second round, and it's against a real good Airline team up in Bossier City. They have a quarterback up there that is committed to Central Arkansas. 6'4", about 190 pounds. He looks like a carbon copy on film of our quarterback, a young man named Tanner Lee, who is this young man from Airline throws the ball well in a spread offense with a lot of skill. And they put a lot of points on the board. So we have a tough task to try to slow these guys down. Hopefully we can score some points and try to, I don't want to get into a match game because then we'll get into trouble. But also, and we can come out and get this second round win. It's going to be fun. I think the 5A bracket is real intriguing, if any of you guys have seen that yet. Definitely Rummel very well deserving of their number 1 seed. They beat us in week 9. We had a great ball game that night in front of a great crowd with a great atmosphere, and they came out on top. And Jay Roth does a great job with his team, and they're definitely deserving of that number 1 ranking. But what everybody looks for is, where is that team from Monroe, West Monroe? They're on the bottom side of the bracket at the 3rd seed. So they're on my side of the bracket. So it looks real interesting on how things will play out, for the next couple of weeks on the trip to the Dome. I told Jay the other day when I saw him at a district meeting, I said, hey, wishing the best for you. I think you guys have a great shot at getting back to the Dome where they were a couple years ago. So I know everybody's following the brackets. I think they're going to be great ball games on all levels this next week, and hopefully 2 more teams from New Orleans can advance into the quarterfinals, in 5A. So with that, I'll open up for any questions. Does anybody have any questions real quick? Yes, sir.
Travel to Shreveport.
Sir?
When will you travel to Shreveport?
We're going to leave Friday morning. I'm not much into taking 100 people, 95 young men, and putting them overnight in a hotel room. I've learned from experience that I don't get any sleep, they don't get any sleep, and the hotel doesn't get any sleep. So we're going to leave Friday morning at 8 o'clock, stop midway along the route, eat lunch, come into Shreveport, eat a pregame meal, and then get over to the stadium and begin our pregame preparations, and we'll come back that night. We'll make it all in one day. We won't be taking school buses, so they should be pretty comfortable riding on those big buses. Anybody else? None? All right, guys, I really appreciate the invite. It's great to come back. Get out this weekend, or follow a prep game, or get on the radio, or however it's going to be carried. Let's make sure you get out and see a prep football game this week. Yes, sir. Way in the back. Radio. Our game is being carried. I got to ask Tom Bagwell. Is Tom here? We're working on it. Like I'm working on stopping their quarterback. We're working on the radio. So hopefully it will be. Anything else? Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate it.